right back in 1989 when he was in Formula 3 with Martin Donnelly, and it's also a great pleasure to see him come so far and get what he's worked so desperately hard to achieve, and he really does deserve it.
But he's won nearly a third of the races that he's driven in. This is Damon Hill's 67th Grand Prix. If he wins it, and I'm not going to say he is going to, although he's mighty close to it, he will have won 21 of them, and he already has the third highest wins to starts ratio in the history of Grand Prix racing, beaten only by the immortal Jim Clark and Juan Manuel Fangio, and nobody would be ashamed of having men like that ahead of them in the record. Hill has driven absolutely marvellously, as has the man we're with now, Mika Häkkinen. Incidentally, Damon Hill is on his 51st lap. He's only got one lap to do at the end of this one, and still Häkkinen is pushing right to the end to get that second place away from Michael Schumacher. It doesn't matter what the gap is in terms of time as they go under the crossover up to the hairpin. You can see what the gap is.
Yep, Damon Hill is indeed man of the year, but Mika Häkkinen is man of the race. I mean, no doubt about that whatsoever. But it looks like the constructors too will be going to Ferrari, who have got Schumacher in second place with 6 points for them. Berger is in fourth place with 3 points. So providing that Schumacher maintains position ahead of Berger, it means Ferrari for the World Constructors' Championship ahead of Benetton and in second place behind Williams. I should just stress that Williams, of course, have clinched it so long ago, the Constructors' Championship, that we've nearly forgotten about that.
Yes, Williams took the Constructors' Championship back in Hungary, and that was the 12th race out of 16. Never mind that, though, good as it is, because here is Damon Hill starting his last lap in Japan. And now is the time to say that we are seeing history made, because Damon Hill is the son of the great Graham Hill, the world champion of 1962 and 1965, and never before in the history of Formula One Grand Prix racing has the son of a world champion become world champion himself. Damon Hill has already done that, even if he doesn't complete this lap that he is on, as he goes round turn 7 up to the unique crossover at Suzuka, which makes this circuit the way it is. And there are the teams in their blue and white London Rowing Club caps, matching the helmet of Damon Hill, which matches the helmet of his great father, Graham Hill. This is going to be a mighty emotional occasion for a lot of people, not the least of whom is myself. And Damon Hill will be concentrating in the cockpit there, but when he comes out of it, his arms will go up, the helmet will come off. That is his wife, Georgie. She's seeing her husband become world champion. Now she's seeing him win the Japanese Grand Prix because he is almost home. This is something that many people didn't think could possibly happen today. They thought Damon would drive a cautious race, but he fought. He fought from second on the grid. He passed Jacques Villeneuve. He took the lead. He stayed there. And Damon Hill exits the chicane and wins the Japanese Grand Prix. And I've got to stop because I've got a lump in my throat. Michael Schumacher passes Damon Hill, but too late. Damon Hill wins in Japan, and he started this race 9 points ahead of Jacques Villeneuve. The record will show that Damon Hill won the championship 19 points ahead of Jacques Villeneuve. Well, Georgie looking immensely happy, as indeed she may. She and her husband have been through some very difficult times together. They've come out of them in front, smiling, and Damon Hill has...
engineers and everyone who supported him in his time in Formula One. It's fantastic. Thank you very much.
And I guess that was Georgie. I'm sorry, I didn't realise I was talking across her. My apologies to her. Well, I really am, for once, almost at a loss for words. I am so happy, as the majority of Britain will be, People have accused me of favouring Damon Hill at the expense of Jacques Villeneuve. Believe me, that is not the case. Nobody has more admiration for the brilliant little Canadian than I have. But I must confess I have a very soft spot for Damon, and it has been magnified as a result of his achievements here. He's done everything that he could be expected to do in Japan, with the possible exception of taking pole position. But he fought back at the last moment even there, because almost to the last minute of the qualifying session, he was fourth on the grid, 0.6 of a second behind Jacques Villeneuve, and he pulled his reserves out of the bag and got up into that second place on the grid. He said, I'm very happy, that's where I want to be. Then he had to make a good start, ideally. We didn't know, and he didn't know, he said, whether he was going to drive a tactical race or go for victory. But he'd always said that if he was to win the World Championship, he wanted to win it in the best possible way.
Well, as the celebrations have just started for Damon Hill, fantastic record-breaking win. The only father and son combination, and boy, oh boy, that's about as proud as you're ever going to be. Georgie's wife?
Yeah, she's very happy. I'll be a happy couple tonight, I would think.
Yeah, well, it is a great achievement and history being made when you think Graham Hill. I mean, I remember seeing Graham Hill race out at Warwick Farm and come out here in the Tasman Series. He was a very charismatic sort of a character, a good-looking man. He was just a wonderful, funny guy, the association I had. Now to see Sonny get up and win, and I guess we've been a little bit critical of Damon Hill in as much as he doesn't like to mix it on a wheel-to-wheel basis, but by gee, that was a complete performance today.
Well, it was fantastic, and I've been saying all along I wanted Damon to win the World Championship. I believe that Villeneuve's a better driver, a quicker driver, a more forceful driver, as indeed is Schumacher. But I think Damon deserves the win. He's worked hard, he's worked long, and this culminates to me a very hard 4 or 5 years. I mean, when his father got killed, unfortunately, in that plane crash, he didn't leave Damon in the best of financial situations. Damon had to race motorbikes. He really did come up the hard way. He didn't have too many doors open for him, and he's done it.
All right, let's recap the results before we rejoin the celebrations.
Well, there you go. Damon Hill, winner of the Japanese Grand Prix and the new 1996 World Champion. From Michael Schumacher, Hakkinen, a great drive from him, Berger fourth, Brundle fifth, and Frentzen, the new Williams driver, in sixth position. World Drivers' Championship, well, there you go. Damon Hill, comfortably now over Villeneuve, Schumacher third, Lacey fourth, Hakkinen fifth, and Gerhard Berger in sixth. And the Constructors' Championship, well, there you go, 105 points in front of Ferrari, Bennett in third, McLaren fourth, Jordan fifth, and Ligier Mugen in sixth position.
And there you have it. All right, we'll take a quick break, come back with all the celebrations as we join with Damon Hill and the wonderful feeling he has as the 1996 World Champion.
Winner, plus be in the running for a Hawaiian holiday for 4.
Welcome back. There he is, Damon Hill, with the big trophy held aloft there. This happened just a few seconds ago. We're waiting to go back live when the race interviews come up as they make their way off the podium. So the celebration's about to begin. What a feeling. You've been there, AJ. You felt it.
Yeah, unbelievable. And as I said before, he's crossed a lot of hurdles to get to this position. I mean, if for no other reason, he just simply deserves to be there because of his commitment and tenaciousness towards reaching this goal. And from that fact, I'm absolutely delighted for him.
Mixed feelings, knowing that the Williams drive is now, it's come to an end, a new era for him. He'll be working with Tom Walkinshaw, who is a big mover and shaker in Formula One these days, but with a car, the Arrows car, the Yamaha engine, certainly nowhere near as competitive as the car he's driving this time round.
Yeah, and don't forget the Bridgestone tyres.
Bridgestone tyres.
I mean, they've never really gone into anything yet and failed. I think, he probably knows a few things that we don't. I think I've been a little bit disappointed with the performance of Yamaha over the last 3 years. Oh, my goodness, he's really getting him.
Have a look at this. They're certainly getting him. OK, let's go now straight to the interviews. This is live again.
I don't know. When I got the word that Jack was out, it threw me for a while because I just couldn't really sort of take it all in as I was driving. But I wanted to win the race for Williams. And so I'd like to dedicate this, my final victory and my final drive with the Williams team, the Rothmans-Williams Renault team, to everyone at Williams and also to Renault. But if you don't mind, I'll take the championship myself.
When did you find out that, or how did you find out rather, that Jacques had gone off the circuit?
I just got word that Jack was out with about sort of 15 laps to go or something. So.
And that came over the radio from the pits?
Yeah.
Going back to the race, you seemed to get a very good start, which must have pleased you enormously.
Yeah, Jack got a bit too much wheel spin, I think, and I made quite a good start, so it was worth all the practice starts that I did. And got in the lead, and I was able to just judge my pace as I went along.
What happened sort of 3 laps in? Because we saw you have a bit of a clash with Gerhard Berger. It looked a bit hairy for a moment or two.
No, not really.
You just sort of closed the door and maybe you didn't notice how close he was to you about 3 laps into the race?
Well, I heard an engine noise, that's all I heard from Gerhard, so I just was keeping my line. And then when I looked in my mirror, he was a long way back.
Right. The pit stops, were they planned or were they on call? Were you waiting to see how the rest of the race went?
as we planned. And so we followed pretty well followed everything that all the plans we laid down before the race.
1 lap from the end, you came very close into the pit wall. Was that as a sort of warm-up for the team?
I was just, I was so happy to be out there in the lead. I thought I'll give them an early one anyway, just to get in the spirit of things.
Damon, well done. Michael, you won here in 94 and 95. Did things go as planned today?
I can't remember I did win in 94, to be honest. I thought it was him. But nevertheless...
I think you're right.
Yeah.
93 and 95.
93. Actually, is this true? Okay. No, race did go well. I had a bad start, I would call it. Not too good. I lost 2 positions against Gerhard and Mika. But then the race went well. We made a good pit stop strategy again. And for this 2nd position was the most we could hope for.
Did you feel under pressure from Mika towards the end, or were you pretty confident you better stay in front?
No, obviously there is pressure if someone is behind you, but I knew when I was behind him and I was quicker, there was just no way to pass if you're not a lot quicker. And as I was in front of him, I could pretty well judge the pace he was doing and where it was possible to overtake, but he never was in position to do so.
How does it feel to be handing over the championship to Damon?
I mean, to be honest, I have to say he deserves it. He waited long enough for it. He did a good season, and obviously as he's going away from Williams, it's very good, so I only can congratulate him.
A point for you. Ferrari are now ahead of Benetton in the Constructors' Championship, so that must be very pleasing for you.
Yeah, it is for sure not unpleasant.
Mika, you had a good race today. It's obviously Suzuka is one of your favourite circuits because you finished well here on many occasions.
Yeah, that's correct. It is my favourite. There's a lot of great circuits in Formula One in the world, but Suzuka is probably one of the best with the Spa, and I think whoever designed this circuit should design all the Formula One circuits.
You made a very good start. Can you tell us how you felt things were going at the start of the race?
Well, I had a very good start, I have to admit, and I really didn't have any problems, and only what was the worry, I guess was worry for everybody, was because the first start was stopped. And all the engine temperatures and clutches, everything got really hot, and it was a pretty hectic moment because the temperatures were raising so high. It was really close to lose the water from the radiators. And
so, Damon, what are the plans for tonight?
Celebrate.
What a question.
Thank you. Okay, Michael, a few comments on the race in your own language.
Es gibt eigentlich nicht viel zu sagen. Das Rennen ist so gelaufen, wie wir uns das vorgestellt haben.
Well, there we are, a jubilant Damon Hill. Well, when you look at Michael Schumacher, mixed emotions for him. It's pretty hard to hand the championship over, I guess, particularly to your arch rival.
Yeah, but I think what he said was absolutely correct.
Yeah.
You know, Damon does deserve it, and I just be good fun to be there tonight, that's for sure, because actually away from the cars and everything, Damon's actually got quite a good sense of humour, and he doesn't mind a drop occasionally, so I think he'll be on tonight.
Plays a pretty mean guitar too.
Yeah, no, it's, I mean, he's really quite a nice guy away, but he needs to bring his personality out a little bit more. Although looking at Hakkinen, of course, he makes Damon look like Mr. Personality, but, you know, I'm not being over rude to the guys, but, you know, Damon, I'm just delighted that Damon has won the championship, I really am, and I think that Villeneuve will win it next year.
All right, Leigh, that really wraps up the season for us. 16 Grand Prix have come your way. We've really enjoyed bringing them to you, but of course there's one very important one, because that's the start of the whole competition again next year. That's at March 6th. Now, the tickets are on sale for the Australian Formula One from Melbourne. That fantastic race last year. And what about the circuit? It's as good as you get. That's March 6 through 9, 1997. Tickets available from November the 1st through Bass. So check your local agency or Bass agency around your area. Now, next weekend we do it again. Now, our coverage commences of the Australian 500cc Grand Prix from Eastern Creek. The last time the race will be in Sydney at the Creek. It goes to Phillip Island, Sunday, October 20, now live from 11 a.m. And Jonesy, if